Hello and welcome to the Cameron Sadeghi Show. I am your host, Cameron Sadeghi here, and we had a crazy week 14 of the NFL today so far. I mean, there's another game tonight in regards to the game versus the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field that will be happening tonight. It's Sunday Night Football, NBC. By the way, those of you wondering, it's snowing currently right now in the tundra in Green Bay. So the Lions are facing a tough challenge on the road against their arch rival. Let's get to the scores before anything on this wacky, crazy, however you want to describe it, NFL Week 14. We'll also give you the playoff picture. If the playoffs were to end today, we'd tell you who would be in the playoffs, for those of you wondering. And also for those of you wondering how to be interactive on the show, you can call in 949-456-2911. 949-456-2911. Or there's a little green bubble on the right side of your screen. You can give me your comments. Whatever you have to say, I want to hear it. Okay. Let's go to the games today and give you the scores like always, starting with the game that, yes, it was close, good game, but it was alright. It was a thriller at the end. Rams beat the Bills 15-12 in Buffalo, which it's a game where matters mostly for Seattle, not really for Buffalo. Buffalo has absolutely no shot for the playoffs mathematically. Alright, let's move on to the game that a lot of people said was going to be lopsided, but the other way around. People thought the Falcons were going to beat the Panthers. No, the Panthers beat the Falcons. Hey, some people might say, oh, it's just one game, Cameron, but hey, I don't think the Atlanta Falcons are the best team in the NFL. It showed today. Panthers win 30-20, NFC South showdown. Alright, in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Bengals squared off against the Cowboys, who have been going through a lot with the death of Jerry Brown, their linebacker, and what they've had to go through in the past 24 hours. They win on the leg of Dan Bailey, kicks the game winner. 2019, the Cowboys. Cleveland, Kansas City. What if I told you the Browns had an opportunity to get on their first 3-game winning streak since 2009? The Browns do it again. The Browns win their third consecutive game. Great job, Browns. It didn't start off well for the Browns. They gave up a huge 80-yard touchdown to Jamal Charles. Didn't really matter, though. Trent Richardson had a nice day of his own on the ground. They get the victory at home. Indianapolis, Tennessee, AFC South matchup. A lot of people said, well, Indy might win this one by 2 touchdowns. Actually, it was way closer than that, but they still win the game at Lucas Oil Stadium. Colts win 27-23. Jets, Jaguars. Jaguars, it's been a terrible year. Same with the Jets. Tebow was active. No, he didn't play, Tebow fans, so don't get too excited. Yet, the New York Jets win by the skin of their teeth, 17-10. The Jaguars marched all the way downfield, couldn't convert a 4th and 2. It was huge. They lose. Jets win. And let me tell you this. The Jets, believe it or not, They still have a chance for the playoffs. Some people are saying, well, that's ridiculous. How could the Jets, who already have 7 losses, have a chance for the playoffs? They do. Mathematically, they still are in the hunt. They have a very easy, relatively easy schedule left. They've got Tennessee, San Diego, and Buffalo. 3 winnable games. Now, if they win all those 3, and I believe if Pittsburgh and Cincinnati both lose 1 game, then, or no, it would have to be Cincinnati and Pittsburgh would have to lose. I think Pittsburgh would have to lose twice due to the tiebreaker and how Pittsburgh beat the Jets earlier in the season. So, yes, if the Jets win out and they hope for a few teams to lose, they could be in the playoffs. I know, it's crazy, it's not terrible, but it's just odd how the Jets, with such an awful season surrounding them and everything going and not going their way, they still have a chance for the playoffs. Okay, let's move on. Minnesota, Chicago. Jay Cutler got hurt in the ball game, came back. Yet, Minnesota, they get the victory, 21-14. Adrian Peterson was absolutely stunning on the ground. He had his way against the Chicago Bears' stout defense, but they didn't have Brian Urlacher for today's game. San Diego and Pittsburgh. You know, a lot of people thought San Diego, 8 losses. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it today at Heinz Field. They do. They rack up 34 points against the number 1 defense in the NFL. Statistically. 34-24. San Diego Chargers. Philly, Tampa Bay. The most thrilling finish today. Nick Foles coming back on an 11-point deficit, wins the football game on 1st and goal at the 2, rolling to his right, throws a bullet right into the chest of Jeremy Maclin for a touchdown. Eagles survive in Tampa Bay. Washington, Baltimore. We'll discuss that in a few minutes. Washington fighting, scrapping. Robert Griffin III hurt. We'll talk about his status. Injured. Kirk Cousins comes back in, throws a touchdown pass, gets a 2-point conversion to go. Kai Forbath hits the game-winning field goal in overtime to beat the Ravens and to keep their playoff hopes alive. 31-28. San Francisco, Miami. Miami really had a chance. They were kind of hanging in there, but Colin Kaepernick closes the deal with about 2 minutes to go. Huge touchdown run to cap off things there in the Bay Area. Okay, Giants, Saints, 52-27. G-Men. And you want to know something interesting? The Saints allowed 500 yards on defense. Yeah, you know, you don't really win football games if you're giving up 500 yards on defense. I think that really explains what occurred in that game today. And another stat that really showed what type of game it was today, the scoreboard. In Seattle, 58-0. Seahawks beat the Cardinals, and oh yes, in the 4th quarter, Pete Carroll decides to go for it on 4th and 26, I believe. He throws a deep shot into the end zone with not with Russell Wilson, my bad. With Matt Flynn. They throw a deep shot in the end zone. It was almost a touchdown. Chris Myers and Tim Ryan, who had the call, said, you can see how mad Ken Wisenhunt was Guys, let me just tell you, I thought steam was going to come out of his head after what he saw. Pete Carroll, where's the sportsmanship? Didn't see it there. We'll talk about that too. Let's move on to the game, the Ravens and the Redskins. But first, before we even get to that, I want to get your thoughts. You can comment on the little green bubble. You can call in 949-456-2911. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Whether it's anything. Whether it's what you think about the Cleveland Browns winning. Whatever it is. Just call in. Give me your thoughts. And just keep it clean. Okay? That's all I ask. Alright. Ravens, Redskins. 7-6. The Redskins are still 7-6. Well, they improved to 7-6 with this victory. The Ravens, they dropped down to 9-4 after this loss. And, man, you know, some people, you know, who may not be true, I mean, if you don't really follow football that much, I mean, you're probably thinking, what's all this Robert Griffin III hype? And maybe if you're one of those NFL, you know, casual fans, you're thinking RG3's, okay. No, let's really recognize what Robert Griffin III did today, okay? Yes, it was at home. I got it, okay? You don't have to say, Cameron, what are you talking about? It was at home. Yes, it was raining in Washington against the Baltimore Ravens, who were the AFC champion runner-up of last year. They're facing a team that many think are going to the Super Bowl. Their offense is running through this rookie quarterback. They're hoping that Alfred Morris can have success on the ground today, and he did. He ran all over the Baltimore Ravens, 23 rushes for 122 yards and a touchdown. And then Robert Griffin III, look, the numbers don't look beautiful, but hey, 246 yards and a TD. You're probably saying, well, that's not that great. He made huge throws, big plays. I mean, anytime the Redskins were in a hole, they needed to make a big play. They needed to get a huge touchdown, driving him down the field methodically. That's exactly what Robert Griffin III did today. Okay? Joe Flacco, on the other hand, he had a nice, solid day today. I mean, it was just a classic back and forth, pound for pound, punch for punch. It was a phenomenal football game, okay? And the Redskins, it really showed to me how this team has matured in this NFL season. Because I don't know if they come back and win that football game, or they win a football game like that against that type of opponent, earlier in the season. It shows how much this team has progressed, and especially how this organization has progressed. I mean, Kirk Cousins today, this guy had to step in for Robert Griffin III, who got injured in the middle of that football game, and Cousins stepped up huge. He hit that big throw, into the end zone. Then on the 2-point conversion with the quarterback draw, this guy did everything you could have asked as a backup. He made all the big plays that he needed to, as well as Robert Griffin. And you know what, really? And I know some of you might say, oh, come on, really? Don't dive into that type of stuff. But you know what really caught my eye is when Robert Griffin III and Kirk Cousins were hugging and, encouraging each other. It wasn't any, ignorance or any, type of mean-spirited actions within the two. It was so kind-hearted and genuine from both of them. Okay? They really wanted... I mean, look, I know they really wanted to win, but Robert Griffin III wasn't saying, uh-oh, if he does well and he wins, I'm not getting my job or anything like that. Or this guy's going to take my success away from me while I'm off the field. It wasn't like that. Because these teams, this team to me has thrown the ego away, has eliminated that from the equation and focused at the big task at hand, which is a win. And that's what they got. The Redskins organization needs these type of they need character-defining football players. And I think they have that. They have that with Robert Griffin III, and Kirk Cousins. Because, let me tell you, if you are a quarterback and you get out and, you feel like your job's going to be in question if the other guy does well and you're not going to be in football games, you're probably hoping in the back of your mind, I don't want this guy to do well, or those type of thoughts, or you're hoping, you're not giving him all the credit in the world, all these nice, genuine things to say, but it was just, I love the effort, the camaraderie with this team, okay? I really do, and I've been critical of Mike Shanahan. I have to say, he's done a good job. He's done a really good job, okay? He's keeping this team alive. He's keeping them alive, okay? They've got a shot. Okay? And the defense made all the plays necessary. All the big plays. And then Alfred Morris. I am mightily impressed by this young guy. This young guy's just... He's doing... On the ground, he's unbelievingly good. On the ground. This guy sees his vision and attacking those holes he's just amazing, the guy. I've never, for a Redskin, we haven't seen a Redskins running back do that. And we saw Clinton Portis do that. He had his flashes of brilliance in that Redskins organization. But seriously, though, Alfred Morris is the franchise back here. They've got a stable group here. On the other hand, Baltimore, look, you could tell the tank is running low with this team. They get into a ton of overtime games. That was an emotionally draining football game, okay? It was just pound for pound. Brutal hits. Both teams are taking. Okay, physical battle. You're going to expect that with Baltimore, but sometimes you can tell that, look, the Ravens were supposed to win this game, but emotionally and physically they were drained, and it was unfortunate, very unfortunate for this team. And I'm a little bit worried. No, I wouldn't say that. I think the Ravens are fine. Yeah, I think the Ravens, though, the only concern I have is with the way they play, if they're going to remain healthy and finish out this season healthy. They're key guys. Okay, they already lost Ladarius Webb and Ray Lewis, which we've seen, it's been a huge impact. Okay, especially in the run game. My goodness. Okay, the run game, they can't really stop the run that well. Okay, and I know this is still the Ravens' defense, but just a little concerned. Okay, not super. I still think they're going to make a great run, go deep in the playoffs, but I don't know. I don't know about Super Bowl this year for them. Okay. Please call in, comment, anything. Green comment bubble to the right of your screen. You can type away. Give me anything you want. Just say, hey, I think Browns did terrible today. I think Browns did well today. What am I talking about? Hey, I think, such and such player did great today. That player did terrible. Or you can tweet me at SM_Cameron. I'm perfectly fine with that. You can tweet at SM_Cameron on Twitter if you want to do it that way. I honestly don't mind. Let's see here. I want to move on to the game that occurred between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, this game, actually, no. Before we get to that, my mistake. I apologize. Robert Griffin III, I said he was injured today. According to the LA Times, he sprained his right knee. Okay, this is updated by Dan Lumena. Dan Lumena says Griffin's availability for next week has yet to be determined, but an X-ray and MRI exam revealed no major damage to his knee, including the major ligaments. A team spokesman said everything was clear regarding any significant damage. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll play next week. This team, though, they've got as solid of a job as Kirk Cousins has done. Credit him, okay? I really applaud for what Kirk Cousins did today. But let's face it, Robert Griffin III is the keys to the ship here. Okay, they need him desperately, and their schedule, which I'll look for you in a second. To me, I still think, and you saw it today with the Giants' victory, and that was, look, the Giants, to me, the Saints really did, horrifically bad defensively. Still, Giants win, and they hang around. Okay, so I still think that this Redskins team, they've got a shot. They've got a good shot. For the division, I don't know. The wild card, I'm pretty sure, because you've got Seattle, who's in the wild card. They've got San Francisco to face, so I'm not sure if they beat San Francisco. If they lose and the Redskins win out, then they're in. So I'm not completely sure what will happen there in regards to the Redskins and how they're going to make the playoffs, because they have two options, unlike some teams out there. They've got the division or wild card they could go for, which I think is a choice that if I'm them, hey, if they don't, to me, this team plays, and I know this may sound obvious, but they play way, way better. Excuse me. At home. Way better. Okay, they've got the Browns, the Eagles, and the Cowboys. I think they can win out. Now they've gotten into the lighter schedule here. They've got it. Okay. I feel like the Redskins are perfectly fine there. Okay, let's move on, as I promised, officially. The Eagles and the Buccaneers. The Philadelphia Eagles. They lost 8 straight games coming into this, everybody. 8 straight. They have not won a football game since 70 days. The Philadelphia Eagles. And somehow, someway, Nick Foles, this guy, wow. He came up today with down 21 to 10 and scored 13 unanswered points. 13. to me, the Buccaneers, they really desperately needed this victory. Okay? Now they're 6-7. Okay? I thought this would have really put them in a nice position. I thought this was going to be a cakewalk. I thought, okay, they're going to get this, they're going to get this, they're going to get this. Now, yeah, it's not looking good whatsoever. Okay? I mean, that basically ended it for the Bucs. The Bucs, I mean, to me, this team really has potential. Okay? Josh Freeman is a franchise quarterback. Doug Martin is a franchise running back. This team has the pieces for the future. And I thought, hey, this could be the year where they can get in the playoffs. They've got a Vincent Jackson. They've got a Dallas Clark. They're offensively talented. Defense, I mean, they did a good job today. I mean, there's no reason to be up by 11 points in the fourth quarter against an Eagles stagnant offense and lose. Especially on the last play when Foles hit Avant right down the middle, and then they spike it with 2 seconds to go, first and goal at the 2. He rolls to his right and hits Macklin. I mean, just all in the span of just a few seconds. Bucs lose. Bucs season is over. It's so unfortunate because this Bucs team had so much potential. So much potential. Eagles, okay, credit you for making that comeback, but I thought it was more of a collapse by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Josh Freeman, you're up. Let me look at this. You're up, as I said, 21-10. Okay, first quarter, Eagles are dominating, all right? All of a sudden, in the second half, second quarter, Eagles are dominating. Then third and fourth. The beginning of the fourth and the whole third, it was in Tampa's control. Just couldn't get the job done. Couldn't get the job done. And it's unfortunate. You look at the numbers, and pretty nice day on the ground for Tampa Bay. I mean, on the ground for the Eagles, they only racked up 29 yards today. I mean, yes, Nick Foles had 381 yards. Okay? But you couldn't shut down. I mean, Nick Foles, look, he's a good guy, he's a good quarterback, but he's no Tom Brady, okay? He shouldn't be throwing 381 yards against you guys. And especially coming back in the fourth quarter the way he did. You couldn't get one stop. You couldn't get one stop, Tampa Bay. That was kind of disappointing. And I was very surprised. And I'm still surprised that this team and the Bucs, they've come up short. They've come up short and short again. And I hope look, I know they're a young team, and I hope, as time progresses, that they won't have games like that where it's close and they can't close the deal. But unbelievable. I mean, out of all the teams, you couldn't do it against the Eagles? The Eagles. Shocked. Stunned. And to me, and people are talking about how Andy Reid, and to me, I think Andy Reid really, if he's not fired by the end of the season, I'll be downright shocked. Okay? And even if Andy Reid wins out and he's still head coach, that would be absolutely stunning. You can't have a guy in Andy Reid with this talented group and not make the playoffs 2 consecutive times. That's seemingly ridiculous. Okay? You can't. The Eagles are a talented bunch, okay, as players. People always put the blame on the players, surprisingly, for everything. Okay? If your whole collective group of men, of players, collectively, and you're talented and you got Pro Bowlers, they're not doing well meshing together, that's not the player's fault. It's the coach's fault. I've always believed in that. The coach has got to step in there and take a command of his team. That's what Andy Reid used to do in the past. But I think emotionally, I mean, poor guy, okay, what he's had to go through with his son, just everything. It doesn't do justice for him to stay in there as a coach, okay? And when he says, I'm not going to resign, I don't understand that, Andy. Why don't you want to resign? You've gone through so much in your personal life, and you seemingly don't want to resign? I know you don't want to be a quitter, but in my eyes, if you resign, I don't think you're a quitter. I don't think Andy Reid is a quitter if he resigns. Okay? And he shouldn't be saying those things. He's had enough time, he's made enough money, he's done all these different things. It's done, Andy. Go to a different team. Don't stay with Philly. Philly needs a new voice right now. You're not the correct voice at this moment. You've done a lot, you've contributed a lot, but this is not the past, this is the present. And so far, the record indicates that you haven't done a good job with your men. Look, Andy, I've heard, Jason LaCanfora of CBS Sports say, oh, Andy Reid might go to San Diego. I mean, look, fine. That's his home. That's where he lives, I believe, currently right now in the Southern California area. So, yeah, okay, fine. But don't go out there and say that I get his competitive spirit, and I understand that. But I don't know if it's, look, dare I say this, I don't know if it's greed. I don't know what to make of this. But Andy Reid, if he's not let go, if he's not fired, he should say, I should go. Because I don't think he's really fit for this team. Honestly, I don't. Honestly, I don't. Okay. Let's move on to another game. The game between the New York Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, look, I don't like talking about the Jets, but we kind of have to this week. Last week we didn't. This week we kind of have to. You know why? Because they have a chance for the playoffs. Okay? If they win out and hope for a few teams to lose, their schedule's easy. Relatively easy. Buffalo, Tennessee, San Diego, Buffalo. That's the correct order. Okay. At Jacksonville, got so lucky. Okay, got so lucky. Are you kidding me? Against Jacksonville? I mean, Jacksonville on 4th and 2. I mean, I forget, was it 4th and 2? Yeah. 4th and 2. And they can't get it done. Driving down the field. No Tebow. It's so funny how the Jets... I mean, look, Mark Sanchez... I don't know why Rex Ryan is convinced that Mark Sanchez is the answer. Look, I don't love Tim Tebow. I don't hate Tim Tebow. I think I'm pretty critical, but I think compared to most critics, I'm pretty nice. I think he's a underrated deep passer and a pretty good runner. Short passing and intermediate passing game is way below average. I can understand that with this Jets team, I can understand it, in the short passing game that Rex Ryan wouldn't really like it putting in, Tebow in. But I have to say this. As bad as Tebow is throwing short and intermediate passes, he doesn't turn over the football the way Sanchez does. Okay? Sanchez fumbled again. He fumbled again. And he's thrown a ton of interceptions, in this year. Tebow, when it's not open, he'll either throw it away or he'll fling it to the ground. I know, I've noticed that last year with Tebow, whenever there was an intermediate pass and he couldn't hit the guy, he'd throw it to the ground, throw it at his feet. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'd rather have that than turnovers the way Sanchez does. I give the slight edge to Tebow here. I don't know why. Look, they get the victory, but I don't know. I still think they should put in Tebow, to be quite honest. And Tebow, the one thing I have to give him credit. I'll give credit for Tim Tebow for this. He's really good, and I know this may sound very simple, but he's very, very good at throwing to non-moving targets. He can't throw real well to short routes or medium passing routes on the move. When there's a guy on the move on a crossing pattern, he's not really that great at doing that. Throwing and leading them. He's good at throwing a deep pass leading a guy, but not really to the sideline while a guy is moving or something like that. I think Tebow does a good job with, I think Tebow does a good job with football common sense. Even though people say don't hold on to the football for a long time, sometimes you'll notice in the fourth quarter of games or when it's a big play, he'll hold on to the football for a long time and keep scrambling around. I've noticed that a lot. And you know what? I know it's not a very good thing to do, but it's good in a way because if you keep holding on to that football for a long time and keep scrambling around, secondaries in today's NFL can't cover for 9 to 10 seconds, for 12 seconds. Tebow can hold on to that football, run around. He can make plays when the play is broken down. That's the one thing that's great about Tebow. Sanchez really doesn't have that dynamic to him. So Tebow should go in. But I'm not the guy who's saying Tim Tebow is the greatest quarterback. I'm not, like Bill Romanowski saying Tim Tebow can lead the Jets to the Super Bowl. No, I'm not saying that, but I can say he can get you to the playoffs. I think Tim Tebow is the type of guy, if you give him a good offense that fits his skill level, he'll get you to the playoffs, probably win a playoff game, depending on the opponent, and that's it. His skills and his intermediate and short passing skills need to improve dramatically for him to be a Super Bowl winning to be in that conversation of Super Bowl quarterbacks. So, look, Jaguars, this Jaguars team, look, I don't know if they're going to go, who they're going to go with this. Who are they going to make their franchise quarterback? They've got to go in free agency again and get some guy. They should pay some big money for a guy that they know is going to be good. Okay? They've got to do that soon. Otherwise, this team is still going to be bad. I don't know. I heard, the Jaguars owner, he wants to have stability. He wants to have a team where, it's going to be an organization that's going to contend for Super Bowls. But, I mean, if you don't have a quarterback, you've got no chance in this league. Got no chance. And they don't have it. So, go make a dramatic move in free agency or get someone amazing in the draft. Until then, I don't know. Alright. Let's move on. I don't really like talking about the Jets because it's flat out annoying to talk about them. It really is. I can't believe that they even have a shot for the playoffs. I can't believe it. I don't know how people can treat this team seriously. To this day. Okay? If they make the playoffs, I'll talk about the Jets for half an hour. Is that a deal? I'll talk about the Jets for half an hour if they make the playoffs. That's how confident I am in them not making the playoffs. There's no way they're going to make it. No way. No way. Okay. Let's move on to the let's move on to San Diego and Pittsburgh. Norv Turner, is he going to get fired? Yeah, he is. According to Yahoo, it's official. He's going to be gone. Norv Turner is officially going to be gone after this year. And I don't know how they won this football. I mean, it was basically Pittsburgh absolutely playing horrific today. Oh my goodness. Ben Roethlisberger. He had this one turnover, and it was Antonio Brown. Okay? The game was over on this play. Roethlisberger throws a screen and throws it right at the helmet of the offensive lineman. It doinks off of his helmet, goes into the end zone, and Quentin Jammer recovers, and Antonio Brown tries to recover, but he trips and falls backwards. Look, Phillip Rivers, he had a tremendous day today. He gets discredited a lot, and he gets a lot of criticism. The guy came up through today, and he did a great job against the number one defense in the NFL on the road. Okay, this guy did superb. I think this guy is a superb quarterback. Just as the head coaching position didn't do a good job this year. Overall, Pittsburgh, they've been very inconsistent. I said it before this year, before this NFL season, that the Steelers would not make the playoffs. I think my conclusion is almost dead on. I mean, yes, they've only lost 6 times. This was their 6th loss this year. But I don't know. I don't know if this team in Pittsburgh, without Mendenhall, can Chris Rainey, can these guys come in through? Okay, I honestly don't know. I don't think this team, Jonathan Dwyer, I don't know. Only 32 yards rushing for Jonathan Dwyer. Alright? I mean, they've got the Cowboys, the Bengals, and the Browns. The Cowboys won, I don't know. I think they can, I don't know. That one's going to really determine that game is going to be huge against the Cowboys. For both squads. The Bengals, I think they could win that. The Browns, they've got to win that. Charlie Batch just had that one awful day. But other than that, I think they kind of have no margin for error here, because if they lose one more time, as I'm looking at this playoff picture, the Bengals will get in there. So the Bengals, look, I don't know. Actually, to be honest, I don't know about the Steelers' schedule. I don't know if they can get through it. They're looking a little bit, not so great. I don't see that great offensive consistency with them. And I know you said, you might say, well, they scored 24 points today. Yeah, but those were garbage touchdowns in garbage time when it really was meaningless. They didn't really get the important touchdowns today. Okay, I mean, the Steelers, to be honest, okay, they've got, okay, the Browns will win. Cincy, I don't know. Dallas, I'm pretty sure they're going to win against Dallas. Now, Dallas is fighting for a lot too, but I don't know. If Pittsburgh, though, plays like this with these silly turnovers, they will definitely not win. They will not make the playoffs. I know that for sure. Okay, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll come on and discuss the NFL playoff picture. NFC, AFC. We'll be back in a moment. 47 minutes after hour number 1 on National Sports. Cameron Sadeghi, NFL, here with you today. This playoff picture, the Texans are the number 1 team in the AFC. Broncos 2, Patriots 3, Ravens 4, Colts 5, Steelers 6, and Patriots and Broncos have already won their divisions. And the Texans have already clinched a playoff spot. Okay. The Patriots and the Broncos are in superb shape. Okay. Now, I don't know if the Patriots can beat Houston or San Francisco. They've got back-to-back games with Houston and San Francisco. I don't know if they're going to win both. Those are maybe, I don't know. Look, they've got Houston tomorrow, Monday night, and in Foxborough, Monday night. I don't know. But if I'm the Patriots, though, I would definitely not try to rest my players whatsoever. And try to go for that second spot, because I don't think having that wild card for New England would really be good for them. I think it could possibly have potential, mismatches there. So I think they should kind of rest up and get that first round bye, in my opinion. Ravens, I think they're perfectly fine. They don't have to worry, really. I think they'll get one more victory and just seal that division for the AFC North. The Steelers and the Colts in the wild card. Colts are in comfortable shape. Steelers, though, the Bengals, the Jets, the Browns, and the Chargers. Yeah, the Browns. The Browns technically have a chance of the playoffs. Okay? Here, let me break it down. The Browns, if they want to get in the playoffs, they need the Bengals to lose 2 more. They need the Jets to lose 1 more. The Steelers need to lose 2 more. And the Browns need to win the rest of their games to get in the playoffs. Now, that may seem very unlikely, but it's the NFL, and unpredictable always happens. And the Chargers also need a lot. They would need the Browns to lose 1, the Jets to lose 1. Well, the Chargers, if they beat the Jets, which, that game would actually be huge for the playoff implications, but it all depends on the Steelers. To me, the Steelers are in a situation where they've just got to win out because the Bengals are right by their side. And to me, I think Pittsburgh, the veteran team that they are, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they win out. I mean, obviously. I mean, even though this team has gone through a lot, I mean, they can turn it on easily. But to me, if they lose a game, I mean, they almost have like no margin for error if you think about it, because they have to, and I mean they have to win out. Because look, their destiny is in their own hands. So don't mess it up, Pittsburgh. All right, NFC playoff picture: Falcons numero uno, Niners numero dos, and the Packers are third. They're playing right now against the Detroit Lions, everybody. And Aaron Rodgers, sack fumble. Lions get the football. Lions are up 7-0 in the first. So pretty interesting there. They're the third seed. Giants, they get a huge victory today. They're in the fourth seed. Seahawks 5th, Bears 6th. Seahawks got that huge shellacking today on the Arizona Cardinals. 58-0 at home. Seahawks still have to face the Niners, which in my opinion is going to be, that's going to be the game of the year for the Seahawks, because if they win and then maybe if the Niners lose 2 more, they could possibly, the Seahawks could possibly win the division. Alright, Redskins in the hunt. They got a huge victory today. Cowboys, big victory today. Vikings, big victory today. And the Rams, 6-1. They still have a chance. That's amazing about the Rams. If they were in the AFC right now, the Rams would have a way better legitimate shot at making the playoffs. Unfortunately, with the tie that they had against the Niners, it really has set them back. So unfortunate for them. So unfortunate. Yeah, so Rams, I don't think they're going to get it. I think the Redskins could slip in there. I'm just stunned by the way Chicago was played. To me, I think Chicago should be up ahead of Green Bay. Alright? There's no... It's unbelievable how they're not ahead of them. And then the Vikings today. I said the Vikings, they've got a tough schedule. They might not have a shot. Hey, they might have a shot for the division if they win out and they hope for the Bears and the Packers to. If the Packers lose 2, Bears lose 1 more, Vikings win out, they got a shot. So, Vikings, I'm mightily impressed how they've had to gut it out through this brutal schedule. Great job. Absolutely great job, Minnesota. Alright. You know what? We're going to close out this show. This is what I mainly wanted to discuss on the program. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll tell you about what's going on here on the channel and on the network here, and you can like our Facebook page and all those different type of things. But first, let's take a quick time out. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is the Cameron Sadeghi Show. Alright, 4 minutes to go here on the Cameron Sadeghi Show, and I want to tell you that this program, this show, and the channel itself, you might not see as many shows as usual on this channel live, or past shows. You might not even see me doing shows, okay, later on during the January time frame, because there are things going on that have kind of set us as a channel back a little bit, for us to do shows for various reasons, and that's why there may be not as high of a number of shows currently this week or in the future weeks. But during the new year, during 2013, you will see a lot more shows. There won't be any, you'll see a lot more shows in 2013 on this channel. But right now, during this week and during the future weeks, no, you won't be seeing a lot of shows. Don't get concerned. It's just because there are a lot of different various reasons people do not have the time to do shows on the channel. So please, that's just a notice, a warning, something for everybody that you should know. Still though, like our Facebook page. You can go on Facebook, go to National Sports, all one word. The first letter is capital excuse me. The first letter is capitalized, and then everything else is good to go. So please like our Facebook page, National Sports. I really, we thank you for all that you've done. Everything that everyone has done here, helping us with this program. All of you followers, we really appreciate it. The thing is, the show thing, don't worry about it. We'll have way more shows in the future. So don't worry about it. Just during this time, it's kind of a busy time. So we might not be doing a lot of shows soon, but I will do my shows on Sunday still, till the end of the regular season. Okay, till the end of this regular season. NFL Goal Line with Nick and Phil, though, tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe that's going to be canceled. I'm not sure about the status of that show. We'll get you word on that before I get on out of here. And to me, this show, this network, the show tomorrow, there wasn't, Phil Nunziata wasn't there, so some of you may be wondering why, Nick was by himself. That was the main reason there. To me, and we want to, for these shows, we're actually adding new talent on our channel. We're having a new baseball guy, Keller Brown. We have much more talent for you guys in the future. So please, about these shows. So if you're ever worried or wondering, it's because we're not doing a show for various reasons. And by the way, for the status of NFL Goal Line with Nick and Phil, Nick will be doing a show by himself, most likely. He doesn't know about Phil yet, so you might just hear Nick by himself, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. That's the same place, Spreaker.com, National Sports, NFL Goal Line with Nick and Phil, but with only Nick Rice, most likely. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. Thanks for your contributions. I want to hear your thoughts next time, though. We couldn't really get it in today, but thank you. And like always, hasta luego.